Well, 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 what an interesting turn of events this has turned into. If you weren't aware, and you hadn't read the title, EA has recently announced that all Battlefield 4 DLCs are to be put on hold, and any future releases from DICE that are currently being worked on are to be put on hold as well, until the base game of Battlefield 4 is fixed. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this is perhaps the most welcome bit of Battlefield 4 news that I've actually reported on my channel throughout the entirety of the build up to the game and the release and the beta and everything else. For me, this is acknowledgement from DICE and EA that there are some severe problems with the game and they're actually going to try and fix them. As it stood 24 hours ago, DICE were releasing pretty much weekly patches to try and get rid of the bugs that were plaguing Battlefield 4. But now EA have stepped in and indefinitely put the hammer down on them and told them, you need to fix this game. And from my standpoint, I haven't had a huge amount of issues with the game. That was until China Rising came out. The 800 megabyte patch that came with the PC version of the game absolutely ruined my experience. I started to experience all the crashes, all the lag spikes that everyone else had been talking about, but I so far had been lucky not to get those. So what does this mean for the Battlefield community? Well, EA has stepped in, which is completely out of character for them, and told one of their developers that they're not doing well enough to fix the game. And I admire EA for that. They've actually listened to the community, stepped in and done the right thing. Now I have to say, this move is about 5.5 weeks too late. They should have realised that after the release of Battlefield 4, even a couple of days after, people were reporting the issues that we're still reporting now. So the fact that EA have stepped in 6 weeks down the line is great. But I still think that this should have been done a long time ago. Another thing, as I mentioned at the start of this video, that means that all future projects for DICE will be held back. That means that if they're building Naval Strike for Battlefield 4, if they're even getting on to Dragon's Teeth, moving into Mirror's Edge 2 and Battlefront for Star Wars, those games are now going to be pushed back a little bit further. And to be perfectly honest, I don't really mind. I'd rather have a working Battlefield game with no more DLCs than actually to go forward with a broken game and give me more maps only to play more broken rounds. So in my perspective on this, it's a really good thing for the Battlefield community, and I really do admire EA and DICE for doing it, because in real life, you'll know, it takes a lot to admit that you were wrong and you made a mistake. And for EA, the biggest games publisher in the world, to step forward and say, hey look guys, we made a mistake, that's a really big thing to do. It's a really, really big thing in life to admit you were wrong. And I really do admire EA and DICE for stepping up and saying that. But what do you guys think? Do you think it was too late to try and save the game? Do you think EA did the right thing and stepped in and said, no, we're stopping this right now? What is your opinion on this, guys? Because it is a really big thing that's just happened in terms of Battlefield, so I want to know your opinions. Make sure you leave them in the comments below. But that's about it for this video, guys. You know I like to keep you up to date with all the Battlefield 4 news as and when it comes out. I'm doing my best to keep that up. I do apologise for not bringing you one of my normal commentaries for a while. I've been very busy in real life and I'm extremely tired at the moment. So I am doing my best to bring you a commentary later at the weekend about the new China Rising release. It will be rather a long one. I think there's some things that do need to be said about the expansion pack, so I'll express those all at the weekend. But thank you for watching this video. Do leave a like if you did enjoy it so other people can see the information. And as I said, comments are always appreciated. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.